This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Uh, Good evening, everybody. This is Jim Marshall. This is the Veteran Support Group of the AnCan Foundation. And first of all, I'd like to thank the AnCan Foundation for sponsoring us, and then also Johnson and Johnson for their financial support for the go-to meeting of this. I'm Jim Marshall, retired Air Force, retired federal government civilian, and currently a VA disabled vet with three 100% disabilities. And I got interested in the VA back when 2017 I was told I had terminal prostate cancer and I was rated as temporarily disabled, which was a puzzle to me. And so I got interested and found out that the VA is very good about providing all this stuff, but not so very good on creating a narrative describing what you've got and how they rate it and what information you should give them and all of this stuff. So I started a research project. And so what you're seeing is the fruits of my labor, and it's all done for free. And Ken doesn't charge. And so uh, I would like to welcome everybody to it and those who might be viewing this eventually. So we have a number of new people, but first I'd like to introduce Alexa Jett, who is one of the mainstays of AnCan that helps us to run, and then Colonel Boykin Jordan, who is also a person that will take this session and take the recording of it and post it on YouTube. We are on YouTube, and so you can look at these for the replay. So, anyway, as I said, we can talk about the VA, we can talk about the military, we can even talk about federal civilian retirement and the intersection of all three. So, okay, the first one I'd like to talk to is Gary. Okay. I got a question for you just to sort of um, get it out of the way. Okay. I take it are you a retired veteran or did you just serve X amount of years?
Actually, I'm here because my husband, Ken Mason, was a
Okay.
veteran.
Oh,
And
Ken, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
that's the Gary
Well,
I've been
now
exchanging emails with. Okay.
yes,
that that hangs up some. Now, was Ken a disabled vet?
yes, he was.
And was he disabled for prostate cancer?
Prostate cancer, kidney cancer,
Okay.
bladder cancer, and hearing impairment.
Okay. Now, okay. The deal was, if I remember, Ken did not die of prostate cancer,
No,
or no. Do you know if Ken was disabled for 100% disabled for more than 10 years?
according to the VA, not 100%.
He was not 100%.
Correct.
Okay. Well, the deal was if Ken would have died of one of his VA rated disabilities and that death reason appeared on the death certificate, you would be entitled to a DIC pension, a dependent individual compensation pension. But since I believe he died of sepsis, I think it was.
Actually, it turns out the death certificate says complications of a stroke.
Oh, now was he ever rated for hypertension?
Yes.
Oh, he was.
Well,
Oh,
by the VA, by the I'm sorry, by his doctors, not by the VA.
Oh, not by the
Oh,
VA. Oh, that's a shame. That's something I would like to bring up to everybody is that even though a 10% hypertension, or even you might be rated for hypertension, but and it's service connected, you could be rated as zero disability, but it's still a disability. So if you were to die of a stroke, then because it's a rated disability, you are in, or you're dependent, or, and even if you're single, your mother or father could be entitled to the DIC, it's called, because at the time that we apply for a disability, we are applying for compensation, not a pension. And at the time you die, then uh, the spouse or dependent or parent, if you are single, is then entitled to DIC, as it's called. So, what could be your question now, understanding all of that stuff?
Well, I believe I had been told by others, and of course I don't know if they're right or wrong, that as Ken's spouse, I would still have some sort of, I would receive some sort of continuation of a reduced disability payment from his disabilities.
Uh, Now, I am not exactly a full-fledged VSO, okay, a veteran service officer. I'm still considered to be in training, and I've never run up against that one. Not to say that it isn't true. Uh, where are you located?
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay. Do you know if Nebraska has any Nebraska state offices that will exclusively help you with VA uh, issues?
There's a VA office in the city, yes.
Okay, well, I would suggest you talk to them because I haven't ever heard of that, but it isn't necessarily that it's not true because I've never run across something. And if by chance you find out it is true, please, how about to contact me and give me a heads up? But I've never heard of that happening for just a death.
Okay, I will because like his mentor or counselor here in Lincoln uh, definitely told him that there would be some form I needed to fill out, but that I would get a spouse's benefit.
Okay, now I know there is an amount paid for the tombstone, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know there's
that.
an amount for the funeral too,
Right,
but that's not what I'm talking about.
right. Now, uh, was Ken retired military or
Uh,
not? I don't
No, no, he
know.
was discharged in 1970.
Ah, okay. So he was just in, probably got drafted like I did and
Yeah.
served his term and then exited.
He signed up. He volunteered. He signed up and served 4 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Well, it was a shame to lose him. I know he was in another group, anyway, AnCan group I have been in for about 7 years, and so uh, he was an interesting gentleman.
Yeah.
Well, that's about the only thing I can put forth. But if you do hear about that, I would be interested, and I need to actually refresh my memory on that because the VA's got a lot of rules. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that was my fear, and the crematorium told they sent me a link for veterans benefits or
Yeah,
veterans benefits. And I didn't want to start going down that road until I talked to you guys.
sure. Sure. Now, the reason why they do that, I don't know if people are aware, but then anyway, at the time you die, the funeral home has to report you dead, and the
Yes.
state has to report you dead, and the cemetery reports you dead because I worked in the federal government in the place called the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, and they do retirement. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing I helped set up back in 2003 was the federal civilian side and the VA and Social Security and the Railroad Retirement Board and DOD each exchange death list every night.
Mm-hmm.
So if you report it to the VA, then all of a sudden everybody else in the government knows the person is dead because they may have a social security check, they may have a railroad retirement pension, etc. So, yes, everybody chimes in.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, keep me posted, and I take it you do have my contact information.
No, I don't.
Oh, if you
He
don't,
did put it at Gary. He did put it at the top of the chat. I don't know if you saw it.
I
Jeff
did
and
not.
Jim.
Okay, okay, okay. I will get that right there.
right,
Thank
right, and also, how about here? I will give you my phone number too, and I will with everybody. Okay, my phone number is 703 338 7341.
Thank you.
And okay, good. Okay, that's scary. Okay, Henry, I don't think we heard if you wanted to bring up anything.
I'm all set.
You're all set. Okay, Brian, yes, it's your time.
Good day. So my name is Brian Weddick. I'm 63. I got biopsy results in April. Trying to make a decision on radiation versus radical prostatectomy. And I'm retired Navy submariner,
Okay, Navy
and
sub.
also
Okay.
yeah, and then retired federal workforce as well last year.
Ah, double dipper. Right.
Yeah, and so when the federal government goes bankrupt, we're in deep kimchi.
Oh.
And although everybody would be, but so I guess what I'm amongst many of the other things I'm trying to figure out is wondering. I mean, I had AFFF exposure while I was on the sub. Like training up for operations, and so is there something there that I should be applying for with VA disability benefits?
Right, right, right. Yep. Okay. Under the PACT Act, okay, the PACT Act of 2022, the PACT Act has actually three parts to it, three sections. One addresses those of us who took off to Southeast Asia, in other words, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Guam, Johnson Island. Then it has in part two the people that took off into Southwest Asia, which is Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Iraq, Syria, UAE, etc. Now, there is a third part which is not well talked about. And it says that if you have been exposed to radiation, not necessarily you think about nuclear radiation, it can even be like radar kinds of things. And in fact, about a couple of weeks ago, I had a gentleman call me and told me he was a coastie. I went, what's a coast? Oh, Coast Guard. Oh, okay, a coastie is called a Coast Guard. And he had managed a Loran station in the United States. And these are the ones that were around before all of the GPS and all of that stuff. It turns out that is emitting high frequency communications. And it turns out under the PACT Act, there is a whole list of ailments that you might be or you might qualify depending upon what kind of job you did on the submarine. Plus, there's also some hazardous chemicals like trichloroethylene that might be able to be tied into service connection. So I think we talked and you were exposed to TCE. I know that, right?
What is TC?
Trichloroethylene. It was used to clean parts, and I don't know if you were, or maybe it was another Navy gent I talked to.
Yeah, I mean, I may have brushed across it. You know,
Okay.
I'm sure it's on the submarine somewhere.
Okay. Now, were you exclusively on subs for 20 years?
So I kind of bounced around a little bit. Like I'd be on a sub, and then I'd be, on a short tour somewhere, and then I'd be deployed with a surface test group.
You were on a surface vessel, diesel or atomic?
Well, all the subs were atomic,
Right.
and the surface ships I was on were, I think they were gas turbines.
Okay. Well, they're gas turbines burning some kind of fuel oil, which at the time it burns, it creates benzene and lead. And benzene and lead are known causes of prostate cancer, along with, yeah, so there are some things that we can explore because the hardest part is to assert what is called service connection. In other words,
Mhm.
how do we blame the Navy for what happened to you? And so if it's covered under the PACT Act, like did you ever step foot in Southwest Asia?
Nope. Oh,
No.
no, wait. As a midshipman, I did.
What? No, on a ship. Did you ever cruise on a surface vessel off the coast of Southwest Asia?
Southwest Asia.
In other
What
words,
countries?
around the Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Red Sea,
Oh, no.
et cetera, et cetera. No.
No.
So you avoided that. You were probably in the Pacific or the Atlantic or on a cushy Mediterranean cruise, right? Hey, I tried to join the Navy before I joined the Air. I figured 3 hots and a cot, and I got told, come back in a year. Well, we're full. So I had to join the Air Force real fast after I got drafted. So, but it was a good thing eventually. Okay, well, the thing that we can try to do, as I said, the hardest part is to try to figure out what's going to be the service connection for this. And so on the submarine, what kind of duties did you do in general?
So I was a watch officer in the engine room and up in the control room, and supervise various maintenance activities in and around the nuclear power plant.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, we need to explore this a little bit more to see if somehow, I don't know if you were, I know, isn't it true on the nuke sub that they keep a constant monitoring of the nuclear exposure or
Yeah.
something like that? I would think so. I take it you never had anything that you should not have?
Yeah, I think I had my total lifetime exposure up until the time I retired was like half a rem, which is
Oh, okay. That
kind of
isn't bad.
insignificant.
Yeah, the other thing that I'd like to ask is, okay, were you spending a lot of time in the CIC that has all that electronic equipment in it and stuff?
So on the submarine, the whole control room where the officer of the deck stands is also the CIC,
Oh,
and
okay.
so yeah.
Well, that might be a place because
And
go.
so one of the questions I was curious about is one of the previous gentlemen you were speaking to, you were talking about it's in his best interest to get to the 20 years to retire. And so it made me wonder, was it even worth pursuing if the most preferable thing is to be getting you retired age, then is it even worth pursuing a VA plan?
Well, the retired pay out of the military, if you don't have that, then you can still get the VA disability money potentially. But as
Because
I said,
I do collect the full military and civilian
okay,
retirement.
that's true. Now, the deal is that if you apply for a VA disability and you are rated either 10, 20, 30, or 40%, any money you get out of the VA will be subtracted from your Navy check. But
Uh-huh.
if you get to 45%, which is rounded to 50 because the VA always rounds up or rounds down, then once you get to 50 in a rating, your military retirement check changes from a pension to a thing called concurrent retirement disability pension, and you get to keep them both. Not too shabby.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so in the goal that
And then
I have, what?
I was going to say, and that also has implications on like state taxability, for home taxes and stuff, right?
Well, it depends. It depends on the state that you're in. Like here in Virginia, basically now they will exempt up to $40,000 of your military retirement this year, and next year they will exempt all of it. But still
Hmm.
be federal taxes that you have to be concerned with. So the state of Florida,
Okay.
they do not tax state tax. Colonel Boykin.
I was just going to throw in there, Jim, that I
Okay.
also think Brian should know that his VA disability pay is tax-free at the
Oh
federal
yeah,
level.
absolutely. It is all tax free. So I would be happy and would work with you off this session to figure out what kind of thing we could do service connection for. Now, as a sidebar out of this, do you have possibly any other ailments that you could possibly file a claim for? You got, plantar fasciitis or bad knee or hurt your shoulder or
Pulmonary
hypertension.
embolism.
What?
I have pulmonary embolisms and hypertension.
Pulmonary embolism. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I had a series of those about a decade ago.
okay. Did you get any of those during your Navy career being cooped up underwater? It's amazing. Hey, you folks in the submarines, I have to hand it to you. I could never do that.
Yeah. So surprisingly, I was the epitome of health the whole submarine career. Everything
Okay,
went downhill after.
so immediately after you came on shore, then it went downhill fast, right? Okay,
Yeah.
well, think
Thank goodness
about
for TRICARE.
right. And
Captain Jim?
yeah,
Hey, Brian, to me, man, you sound like you're selling yourself short. And what I mean is that your job is to tell the VA what all is wrong with you. Establish the best service connection that you can, and then let the VA sort it out. I don't
Yeah.
want you to just kind of think and say, well, I don't think they're going to say yes, so I won't even apply. I had this exact same problem when I was on active duty, and it turns out that I was rated 90% right out the gate. And so I don't know your whole situation, but I certainly would encourage everybody that the benefits that Captain Jim are talking about are benefits that you have earned as a respect of your service. It's our job to ask for them, and it's the VA's job to tell us whether we qualify or not.
yes.
I'm sorry, I get off
Sure.
the box.
Now there is another aspect of this. Everybody thinks about disability getting money, but as of the 5th of March of 2024, the VA enacted this thing called TERA, Toxic Exposure Risk Activity, which the long and the short says that if you are covered under the PACT Act, you get it automatically if you happen to qualify. But if you're not covered under the PACT Act, like you, if you can show the VA that during your career you were exposed to toxic materials like AFFF, like um, diesel fuel fumes, benzene, lead, etc. What that can get you is not money, but it can get you 100% free VA health care. Okay?
Mhm.
And now you might say, why do I need no stinking VA health care when I got TRICARE? Hey, and I don't know, at the time you did your federal retirement, did you also elect to get a civilian health care policy from the federal government?
So I activated it and then suspended it so
Ah,
that it's available if I want.
You are a wise man. You are so wise to do that. I did the same thing because back in my employment at the U.S. Office of Personnel Management back in 2008 to 2009, as a part of Obamacare, there was an effort to kill TRICARE for life. Why do the military need a separate one when they should be using Medicare and use Obamacare like everybody else? Why are they so special? Well, thank heavens it didn't get killed. So I said, hey, and I never heard any word about what should we do to try to pare down the civilian healthcare plans, which are quite generous to say and good anywhere in the world. So I say, hey, I'm no fool. I signed up for a federal health plan. Well, even though I have a federal health plan and I've got TRICARE for life, I still want to have VA healthcare in my back pocket. And in fact, because of a number of circumstances, I am using the VA healthcare to get to a specialist that my federal health plan doesn't have any for the prostate cancer, and the VA doesn't have one, but the VA's got this thing called community care, also called Veterans Choice, where I have been handed over to Johns Hopkins, all expenses paid, and they have some experts over there. So actually, even though maybe from the VA disability angle, depending upon how much you could get, 10, 20, 30, there's also an evaluation done for VA Terra, which, as I said, can get you 100% free healthcare, because we've also found out that TRICARE may not cover everything. And in that case, you can go to the VA and have them pay for a scan that TRICARE says I don't pay for. Or eventually you can activate FEHB. Now, do you know that to your federal health plan, you do not have to wait until then open season to activate it? Do you understand that, or did they tell you that?
Yes.
Oh, good. You just pick up the phone and say, hello, OPM. I have had a change of life situation. Would you please sign me up for plan code such and such? Because all the plans are by zip code. And actually, there's a plan for every country in the world. Because I had 675,000 federal retirees who were overseas in all the countries. It was amazing. Erica, you have your hand up.
Yes, and
Hello there.
This is Rico,
Yes.
and we've both been sitting here listening and
Okay.
talking about his specifics. And so just talking about VA Terra and whatnot, we had a couple of questions. He just wanted to introduce himself so he's not,
Sure.
just in the corner here.
Just want to say,
Wait, I can't hear you.
it's
Yeah, it's because the earbuds.
Yeah,
We
that's
got.
why. I,
Oh,
I I
okay.
will try that. Yeah, sometimes it chooses which bud to use as a mic. I apologize. But
Oh,
Jim, I
okay.
just want to say thank you for what you're doing for the community
Oh,
and
sure.
helping us all. I'm still pre-retirement, so I'm 2 years. I'm
Right.
actually at my
Yes.
19-year point, but
Ah,
I
yes.
have to do another year because I took a short pause. But I'm at that point now where I'm starting to kind of get my mind right and prepare
Yep.
for VA and retirement, and you hear both the good, bad, ugly, and amazing in regards to the VA process. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to prepare myself, and it's nice hearing
Good.
everything. I just want to double check that.
Okay.
I'll pass this on to you, Aaron. I just want to double check that the Terra Act, if I remember correct, just because I do have burn pit registration. I've
Oh, you
deployed
are
like
covered under the PACT. Yes.
yeah, I've
Okay.
deployed 4 times.
Oh,
All of them, yes, Southeast Asia. So
But one of them was civilian, and that's the one where he got
that's okay. No, no, no.
letters.
As a
Yep.
military, if he stepped off the plane and had boots on the ground, you are covered under the PACT Act.
So he does not need to have additional
What?
documentation or any. He doesn't.
yeah, she was just saying,
Additional.
just double checking that there's nothing else additional needed besides burn pit registration. I know
Well,
that
it
they just
isn't.
make. Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
here, wait a minute. Burn pit registration is a research study. It
Correct.
is not
Oh.
registering for some kind of VA disability. Now, the thing that will happen is that when you are retired and you exit out, you will have a DD 214, right?
Yes.
And on there, it'll have all of your hero medals.
Yeah.
I forget which ones, and there is one or a number of them now that will show that you were in, I don't know, the war on terror
Yeah,
or
Like
yeah, yeah. So
whatever it's
Iraqi
probably
called.
campaign medal. I think there's an Afghanistan campaign medal.
Right.
correct.
Those,
There's
those are
all
the things
those.
that you want to make sure is on your DD 214,
Right.
and that's what establishes your service connection for the other stuff that
Okay.
Pat and Jim
Yeah,
are talking about.
it's all in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And also another thing I advise that at this point in time, you get every ache and pain. If you even strained the knee, even though it got better, get it in the medical records because when you get my age or even the age of Colonel Boykin and arthritis sets in, okay, there is a disability that you might be able to engineer out of
I
the
I
He's over.
definitely have decades of
wear and tear.
yeah, I have
He already sounds like he already moves like an old man, and sounds like I can hear the arthritis every time he stands up. So.
Yeah,
you know
right. So,
they're not a normal 19 years. These are military 19 years. They got
yes,
a lot on me. But I have I have a lot of things already annotated, specifically knee injury. I have a permanent profile for like over a decade of like early onset arthritis and lost
right. All that
meniscus and
stuff.
everything. Also a recent injury to an ankle that was that was during
Right,
PT with the troops. So yeah, I'm very aware that I can't do what I did when I was a young Joe or a young non-commissioned
right,
officer. I can't put that, under my, under the rucksack and keep moving because you don't want to be
right.
that person, and you want to keep on with the mission and be useful. But in reality, the military does what they can to get what they can from you, and it takes a toll on us over the
Yes, it
years.
does.
And I would say, Jim, I would say you're still thinking about the physical. You need to be
Yep.
thinking about the respiratory part of it too, because if you're snoring right now, sleep apnea, if you've been over there in the desert, you need to be thinking about the respiratory part of it too right now. So if you are having problem breathing, anything, you need to go ahead and put that in your medical records now.
He has these incredible allergies with these horrible
Right.
sneeze
Go
attacks,
see the
and they
doctor.
started. Yeah.
So Jim, I think the common collective advice you're hearing from all the veterans is the easiest way to establish service connection is when you're on active duty. So now, like you said earlier, when you had the rucksack on and we was all manning up to do the mission, you want to be that guy now that they all talk about. And
Right.
go see the doctors and get them to document. Yeah, he came in for this little pain and that little pain, and don't worry about trying to sort it out now because as Jim and Willie have hit, years from now that you can't see because you're still a relatively a youth, you'll see how these things come together. But you don't have to fight it because it's already in there. If you can get doctors just to document it and put it in your service records.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Tennille, you have your hand up. Chime in, please.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. I just wanted to say, just let everyone know, I'm a corpsman for the Navy. So I work in the medical field and I handle a lot of records, medical records specifically, and I send them to the VA. So when it comes to medical members getting ready to do their retirement, that's really one of the biggest things I work with. And like they said, it's very imperative to like get all the physicals you can done, psychological, physical, before you get out. It's easier to tie those things to the military beforehand, until after you get out, which is a little bit tougher and harder to claim. One thing I will say is that yes, you can go to military doctors, but it's also advisable to also go to civilian doctors as well. One thing I know about military doctors and just me working with military physicians is that their goal is to also get you back into the fight. Which is also not the best thing. I mean, it's nice, but you also want to figure out the other long-term things. Civilian providers, they'll more so be like, hey, let's figure out what's going on, look into things a little bit more deeper. Not saying that military providers are not in your best interest, but, whatever they can do to keep you running until it's time for you to go. Because like you said, the military is going to get whatever they can out of you. I've been in 12 years. I haven't had a single thing happen to me yet. My medical record's about this thin, but then now that I've become a medic, and I'm like, I tell people all the time, it can be a sneeze, it can be the smallest of things. Get it checked out, go get it documented. It can be the smallest things. Your blood pressure's a little bit elevated. You're having a hard time sleeping because those small things add up over time. And once you get ready to get out, and then your body's like a timer, right? You're young now, you're in the prime of your youth, but once you get out, then there's this coming. There's the restless leg syndrome. There's the depression, PTSD, stuff, all that that comes out of nowhere. So it's best to get these things now and at least get them documented. We do have a lot of things in the system. Jim, you know about Genesis, right? And how like medical things get uploaded in there. That does go
Yeah.
directly to the VA, right? Okay. So
Well,
a lot of things.
well, I know that if you do those military medical records are now go straight to the VA versus going into the salt mine in southern Illinois. Right. So there is this transfer now because at the time you retire, they will put you in for something just to get your medical records going straight to the VA. So that's good.
Right.
That is
Yes.
excellent.
One thing, what I did on my military exit exam, I checked every box on that exam and said there was something wrong with me, just in case later on something happened. It was already said. I already said it. So let them figure out if there's something wrong or not with me. So I checked every box on there when I was going out. And
Good.
if you're on active duty, I would advise you to do that. And then if they want to send you to an exam, then let them figure out if you got if something is wrong with you. That's what I did.
Yeah, and another thing as I can do is that for you now, I remember at the time that I joined the Air Force, there was one crusty NCO E7, and he told me, Marshall, you keep every friggin' piece of paper the government gives you. And I did that
Sure.
for the medical, also orders, travel vouchers, everything else, because you'd be surprised down the road if you travel to some foreign country that eventually there might be something that you could claim because you were there, because you were there, because the VA uses this term called it is as likely as not. Another thing I can do is to send you some information about what's going to face you when you do the retirement, because what generally happens is they'll have somebody fill out your claim. Well, it would be good if you understand what they should be doing, because not that they will not do a good job, but it's in essence, all they do is to list what you claim and say it's in his medical records, which could be about 2 inches thick. And the the thing that I've done is I've tried to look at a VA claim from the perspective of the VA claims processor, who is like equivalent to an E5, E6, maybe E7, and they're a federal civilian. And they only have so much time to sort out your claims. So as easy as you make it on them, the better off it is. And I've got some techniques I use, and I've documented these, and I will be happy to pass those along to get you in a mindset of how do we create this claim from the perspective of the person that is going to have to process it. Like even in probably NCO Academy, Officer Staff School, you are trained to know your audience. Well, this is no different. If you know your audience, you can make it as easy or as hard on them as can be. And the easier you do, they will kiss you and more likely to grant you something. So as I said, I've written up this stuff in papers, and I will be happy to send those along to you. So in the chat, there is my email address for the AnCan side of the house. And if you contact me, I can register you in my tracking system and send you the things I've got. And
Guys, mind if go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well, I'm listening, and this is Henry. I agree with everything you guys have said.
Henry, yeah. Okay.
I had my, I guess, own experience of not documenting or having it documented. When I was a Ranger and airborne, I got injured my knee, and when I got out, I was 30% medical boarded with retirement pay. I was young, and I was gung-ho to the max, I guess, so to speak, and I got into law enforcement. At the time, I had a medical board exam to switch over from VA paid to defer from my 30% retirement pay from the Army itself, which was a mistake. I guess I came to realize in the end, residual effect of getting older and having initial injuries that occurred when you were a young man, arthritis and everything else. The same knee I injured, I came home in a cast. Today, it never went away. Same knee, same problems. I guess I'm saying this to never disregard something that happens to you when you're on active duty, but because it can come back to haunt you later on in life. And that was a mistake I think I made at the time by wanting to jump into law enforcement, saying I'm okay and I'm a tough guy and and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Documentation is very important. I don't know. I kind of regret that to this day that I didn't follow through and pursue injuries or illnesses or whatever. It's important. That's it. It's just important.
Henry, are you married?
Yes, I am.
So how long have you been married?
30. I'm gonna get this right, but she's not here. She can't hear me.
30. Guess were you married in the military?
No, I wasn't. I was a young man, fresh out of high school, 17 years old. I went straight from high school to military.
So do you have squad? Do you have still old squad leaders, first sergeant, anybody you can get in contact that can verify
Well,
your hurts,
well,
your
it was
pain, or any of that?
this was documented. This was documented when I came out in the cast. This was documented in my records,
Mm.
but it's been so long. 1970, 81, from 78 to 81. I mean, this was all documented, and I just my mindset at the time was I'm going to work in the workforce. I'm going into law enforcement, and I disregarded what was, you know, I guess my injury came back to always be in my life. I guess I can say that it was always in part of my life.
Okay, Erica, do you have
I
any
guess
additional things or
just
questions?
making sure you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what I was gonna, this is like a joint question, probably for Tennille and for Jim. Just with MHS Genesis being like online, and it's supposed to be like the mastermind of the medical record system. Do you feel like that new system now is going to make it easier for the VA? You know, gone are the days of the 2, 3 inch peeling of medical documentation when they could just electronically look through stuff, control find, or just verify ICD codes from history records?
Well, actually, what you are talking, okay, imagine if you are a VA processor and you say, I had a bad knee and I injured it in 2012. Do you expect them to try to go into your medical records and try to find that thing and take the time to do it? They're not going to do it. What, as I said, in the claim process, the thing I do is what I say you should do is you extract that out of Genesis. And in your claim, in the narrative, which I have a template for, you embed that. So all they have to do is just scroll from page to page and everything is there. You are making their job as easy as possible. So it will take work, but the payoff can be substantial because for you, it will go on for many, 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 many years. So as I said, Genesis itself, all they'll do is to retrieve it, to have it, because there are people that will submit a claim expecting that claims processor to go in and try to find what you said happened. And guess what? They they will give up because it's too hard.
To, to Neil, do you know if when you look through MHS Genesis and the military side, if the civilian interactions and encounters are popping up also?
So for whenever we have members get outside care, we always encourage them to provide documentation from the providers and the diagnosis sheets and bring them in because sometimes doctors don't put things in Genesis and sometimes it takes a second for Genesis to update. So unfortunately, if you rely on the method of just the electronical part and, when it's all said and done, the VA is looking in there, they might not see anything. They might not see anything at all. So it's always important to have that second backup plan and have the paperwork. So, it's easiest to, giving it to the person who's in charge of your records, getting that put in there and having that set up in. And also Genesis is still, it's not like totally new. It's a bit on the newer side and it has been strongly enforced, I believe in 2019, where they was like saying, okay, too many military members, their records have been lost, medical stuff has been disregarded, and they wanted to keep a bigger look on things. So it's unfortunate that, again, like I said, it's happened to a lot of veterans. The system has unfortunately not been tailored for a lot of people to like have their medical stuff intact. They're trying to do better. But I think the thing that we can all do from now going forward is to make sure that we do our diligence and update our records. Not rely on Genesis solely. It's a nice helper, but it's an aid. You know what I mean? We still got to rely on members to update their records. And one thing I will tell you, I've been a corpsman for about 3 years, so I can't really I saw a lot of matter of things happen in the medical world. I don't like to, throw shade at my guys, but you'll go to a lot of medical facilities where people might lose stuff with records. I hate to say that, but some people are not as meticulous with people's stuff. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. That comes with almost any job. People just kind of get lazy or complacent. But what I tell people also too, if they feel comfortable, you can also keep a copy of your own records.
Yes.
The records, they're also, military. They're the CEO of the command is in charge of those documents, right? So the records, you can't just take them, but you can take a copy of them. So therefore, you can have everything in that record. It can just be like a copy at home. So when the time's said and done, I think you will file for a VA claim 180 days before your end of service. And then, you can also send your record there. Like I said, the corpsman or the medic in your command, they'll be in charge of sending those records out. But, human error can happen. But what you can do to mitigate that is when the time's said and done, you're like, hey, I got all my records. I kept a copy, so I will turn it in myself. So there's like a backup plan of everything, but I would say do that as well.
Right.
And the other side to this is that if you point the VA, as Captain Jim was saying, as Tanel was saying, is that you need to point the your VA guy in the right direction. And so even though they have that big old database, just you point them to the right time frame to go look. Then they can go find all the rest of the story that they need. Because otherwise, they just can't go in there and just do Control F. And I tell you what happened to me on my last CMP exam. Is the VSO person looking at it said, the claim adjuster said, "Oh, sir, you got over 4,000 pages of records. Where do I start?" And I said, "Oh, go right here."
Yeah, now everybody is thinking electronic. Remember that claims adjudicator is sitting at a desk and they've got probably two screens, right? And they bring up your claim and they start to scroll it. Do you want them having on the second screen trying to go into this gigantic file, even if you give them the date for them to find it? The answer is that's you are making their job too hard. So what I contend you do is to extract the information. You find the 3 pages, you make a copy of them, and you insert those 3 pages into your claim. Now, if they choose to, you can say, well, if you don't believe me, you can look in my entire medical file and find these on this date and this time. The goal is to make that person's job as easy as possible because they only have a certain amount of clock time because they have to process so many claims in a day. Otherwise, they get in hot water with their boss because the VA, last time I heard, they're 200,000 claims behind and they thought that was not too bad. I remember about a year and a half ago, they were 1 million claims behind. So the pressure is on to these claims adjudicators. And for the 22 years I worked around people that did treasury claims and I worked around OPM that did retirement claims. And I knew a person that was a VA claims adjudicator. Uh, Tanel, you have your hand up again. Chime in. Go for it.
Oh yeah, there was also one more thing I tried to remember very faintly in the back of my mind. Erica, when you were talking about the EFMP program, as a corpsman, they kind of threw that program on me too. Unfortunately, I only worked with it for about 2 months, so I do know a little bit about it, but I might be able to answer your questions just depending on what they were about specifically.
family member.
Okay, Erica, is there any, let's see, any questions here?
Thank you. So the other earbud. Um, thank you so much for offering that. I just submitted my first like reimbursement claim for regular TRICARE for out-of-pocket
Oh,
stuff because so many of the specialists that we've needed are
okay,
just not within the system. And so I haven't even started looking at the exceptional family program. And
okay.
I guess I'm trying to handle one overwhelm at a time. So like uh are there any things that people say, I wish I knew this beforehand before I got engaged with the program? Like do say this, don't say that. The my child is has multiple different learning differences,
Right.
disabilities, needs, and they're not just under like the typical ASD umbrella, but that's the one thing that seems to be recognized. So I guess I feel nervous about approaching and starting and then saying something that messes up what kind of support we'll get. So just I guess generally speaking, is there anything I should do or definitely don't do?
Well, that I'm not that up to speed on that program, so
Hmm.
I'm a little bit hesitant to go there because I've never been asked anything like that.
No
So
problem.
I need to go try to find some information on it, but I'm sure that you have researched it a lot.
I
So,
haven't yet. I've been
oh,
researching
okay,
more
well
of the
then,
specific, my focus has been on the specific medical supports
sure,
and trying to get
absolutely.
those in place at home and with providers. And
Yep.
that's why I haven't touched it yet. So I don't know if there are any other participants that do have experience with it. I don't mean to, just put it on you, Jim. Just like a general question for
Yeah.
whoever does have experience with it.
I don't know if anybody's here because most of us are old
Okay.
guys and old
I think,
gals, and
I think
you're
10,
a youngster
thank you.
in
Thank
this.
you.
Hey, it's
Does
I've
nice to have. Now, I,
Does 53 really count as a youngster? I don't know.
oh,
I don't
hey,
feel
oh
like
you
it.
could be
So
my not
yeah,
quite
it's like I'm not that
granddaughter,
far.
but
Oh,
close.
okay.
No,
Yes,
All right.
actually, the
53 is
thing
young.
I
Okay. Thanks.
I then wanted to broach is just to plant the seed that at the time he retires, I would seriously look into employment by the federal government because their health
You hear that,
plans
babe?
in the civilian
Mhm.
sector are
Mhm.
quite
Mhm.
generous,
Mhm.
very generous.
Yeah, that
Now,
is a major. The healthcare that we can try to sustain and transition over into is big for both of us. I have a lot of other chronic and long-term medical issues as well. And so we're just looking for smoothness in that transition. And I think it's a major
because
fear.
right, the beautiful part about the federal civilian plans is like if, let's say that you have a Blue Cross and Blue Shield kind of thing, and if you also have TRICARE, which you might take them both because TRICARE for you
Hmm.
isn't that expensive.
Hmm.
And the thing that happens when Blue Cross bills and you have to pay something to Blue Cross, you tell them you have TRICARE, which will pay second,
Hmm.
and what they'll do is to send the bill to TRICARE, and the beautiful part is whatever TRICARE allows, not
Hmm.
what is billed, must be
Hmm.
accepted as final payment.
So I
That
can't
can get
overcharge that. Okay.
right.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and you owe nothing. I've had that
Okay.
true ever since I got a federal health plan in place,
Hmm.
and especially now when I do have the TRICARE for life, and I also have VA healthcare active.
Okay. So do
So,
both. Do all three if you can. Basically, I
well,
got you.
if you have that special needs, because the
Yeah.
amount you'll pay for those will dwarf the amount that you get essentially and with the benefits for.
Hmm.
So that's just
Okay.
something to keep.
Mm-hmm.
within the back of your mind.
Yep. And strategizing and moving forward. That
Okay,
sounds good.
Tanel, you have your hand up again? Go for it.
Yes, for the EFMP program. So it's a bit complicated, but nuanced. I'll go ahead and kind of clear up some stigmas about it. I do know a lot of people have some skeptical ideas of it. With the program, the only thing that the program really is big on is that where it stations you at, right? Say, for example, if your spouse says, "Hey, they said they was gonna send him to California, no, really nice," but then like, "Oh, we gotta send you to,
Yeah.
Idaho because Idaho has better access care to your needs, and it's easier for us to take care of you there because there's a facility right next to you." Um,
So,
so
I don't know that that benefits us much just because we already, I had opened a business. Now I'm not able to continue that because I'm full-time care provider. But we transitioned over to Georgia Army National Guard full time so that we will just stay here in Georgia. And I don't think we're going to get moved, for the rest of his career. So
right,
I think that that is not something we need to mitigate for. Just to,
right.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, then I would say, okay, so from then on, I would say talk with your military provider at your MTF, the one
Mhm.
you go to for your primary care, and go talk to them
Yeah,
about the EMF
we don't
program.
have
And
a station. Yeah, we don't have a. That's why we're remote. Like we were at Benning
Right.
for 15 years, and now we're just in like Metro Atlanta, and so we use TRICARE remote, and so he has to
Right.
use civilian. Um,
right,
right. So it's a little messy, and that's why we don't feel very supported, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
right. Do you have any medical corpsmen or medics in general at the place you're at? No, no kind of medical care. Like who is in charge of like caring for your military medical records?
He does an annual what? Yeah, annual PHA. Like they all go. We
Mm,
just do it en masse. Yeah,
okay,
they just,
okay,
and that's it. Like that's it. It's like one day.
okay.
Everything else is civilian. And it's been really rough for him, like just very hard to get providers. And then the providers,
Right.
like we wait months for an appointment, and then the provider's like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. And we have to start over again. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that.
is true. Now, I thought I will have to look. There was something in the Atlanta area that I thought came out about a month ago. I'll have to go back and track that back.
okay.
It was something having to do with military health care in the Atlanta area.
Okay. I mean, we
And
definitely
I
could use some kind of face-to-face support. So
Sure,
if you do have any clues, I would love to know. Thank you.
yeah. Just be sure to send me your contact
Okay.
information,
All right.
and then
Thank
I
you.
can put you on that. And in fact, I don't know if it was in a reminder. I don't remember if I put that. Anyway,
Okay.
so okay, Tanel, do you have your hand up again, or did you forget to take it down?
Thank you for that,
Probably
by the way,
forgot to take it down.
Tanya.
No
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
No
Thank
Okay.
problem.
you.
But I did
Is
have
there
one
any?
last thing then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. So for the EMFP program, there's another way we can go about it. The nearest, you said your army, right? That's your
Army National
the
Guard.
guard?
Yep. Yep.
Correct.
Under Army. Yep.
So sometimes if you have like okay, so as a reservist, it's going to be a little bit different.
He's not a reservist. He's
Right.
Not a
active.
reservist. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the hard part is because I work at a reserve center. I'm active, but I gotta go to
Right.
prime remote too. But if there's not an individual there at the command, that's not an EFMP coordinator. There should, but if there's not, there's different procedures for each military branch. So he might need to go to a nearest MTF or Army Medical Treatment Facility.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. Which state are you guys in again?
We're in Georgia.
Georgia. I'm not too sure. I don't know many facilities in Georgia. But the
It's
nearest
okay.
one that's closest to you guys, you can find, and then you can say, "Hey, listen,
Mm-hmm.
what's the branch coordinations for like the EFMP programs with
Right.
the end of
Okay.
within the area?" And then they can
Yep.
help you get set up with some type of care that's near you. Like I
Okay.
said, it's sometimes obviously you can't necessarily get the care before you go somewhere. Sometimes you just need it
Yeah.
now, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
So try to reach out to an MCF and say, "Listen, hey, I know I'm TRICARE Prime Remote. but I have this circumstance that's tailored only to the military. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you bring that up to a civilian provider, and unfortunately, they're going to be like, what's
Yeah.
that?
They don't know what the
You
heck
know,
that is. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then, worst case scenario,
Yeah.
if that's still an issue, I would
Yeah.
say you
Yeah.
could talk to TRICARE, and
Mm-hmm.
there's this thing called Individual Disability Act where you're able to like get special care through either via school or through medical needs, and that can be enacted through TRICARE. You can talk to them with that as well.
Okay. I'll ask about it. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Thank you very much.
with
No
this
problem.
one, we need to press on here because I want to get to Frank. Hello, Frank. Frank
Hi.
Ramirez.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're the way I understand you have been diagnosed with prostate cancer, right?
Correct in the last month.
Okay, and I believe you are covered under Agent Orange, right?
Well, I guess
Vietnam?
I was in the service in Vietnam,
In
in the
Vietnam,
army.
boots on the ground, right?
I was on the ground. Yeah.
Yep. So you are covered under the PACT Act. So your prostate cancer is presumptive. You don't have, that's your service connection. It's automatic. So let's step forward. Uh, have you started treatment yet?
No, I'm not. I'm at the stage where I'm trying to figure out what kind of treatment,
Okay.
whether I want to do active surveillance or the surgery or the
Or, right.
radiation. So,
Okay. Have you done your intent to file that says I want to establish the pay date of when I will be paid back to after my claim is adjudicated and they start sending me lots of money?
I have not done anything other than today.
Okay.
After your comments, I started researching that.
Okay. So the thing to do tomorrow, I want you to write down this telephone number. Okay.
Okay.
And the telephone number is 1-800, okay, 827 1000.
Okay.
And you call them up and you say, I want to do an intent to file, the magic words.
Okay.
You don't have to tell them why you are calling, what you're going to file for. Now, uh, do you currently have any VA disabilities rated?
No.
Or did you ever apply before?
No, I'm not. Not
No.
for
Okay,
disability.
no problem at all. What they'll do is to take your name and your address and your social security number, etc., and they will send you a little package of forms. Just keep those forms in hand, and the thing we'll do is I will start monitoring you because the gist of it says that your um, when it's confirmed, because you probably have a biopsy that says you've got prostate cancer, right?
Correct.
And you have a copy of that.
Yes.
Okay, good. That will be the date that they will start to pay you. Okay. Now, if you elect for active surveillance, which is perfectly okay to do, then you are going to be rated as 100% temporarily disabled for as long as you're under active surveillance. And it could be a year, 2 years. Gary in the active surveillance group has been going now 11 years. And he's been collecting 100% temporarily disabled money, which is currently, are you single, married, or what?
Married.
Married is running around 4,200 and maybe $33 a month. Now, let's say at some point you decide to get treated. And if you decide for radiation, okay, you will have that procedure and you'll still be 100% because you're under treatment. And then after the radiation is done, you will be, the VA will, according to how they view you, after 3 months, they will contact you thinking that your treatment is over. But that's not the way it works, because once you finish the radiation, you'll have a PSA test every 3 months for a year. You're still under treatment and you still get paid at the 100% temporary level. At the end of the year, if everything looks good, then the VA will bring you in and they will look at the residual effects of what all this caused on you and rate you accordingly. And we don't have to go into that, but I have all that information and you will know everything about it.
Okay.
So that's sort of the strategy.
Okay.
Now, is there any idea when you are going to decide this or what? Or,
Well, hopefully within the next month.
okay,
I'm
well,
I'm visiting with other doctors as well, trying to get second opinions.
okay, well, I would not try to, well, I will help you file the claim. I will, in essence, not really hold your hand, but I already have enough of these that I have put together and with a narrative depending upon what path you take. If you're active surveillance, that is easy to do. If it's a prostatectomy, I already have probably 4 or 5 of them in the can for guys to do it, and they're almost always the same. If it's radiation, as I said, I have them already prepared. All I have to do is bring it up, edit a few things out, and adapt it to you. And it's a piece of cake. And then I will supply you all the forms that you have to fill out, PDF fillable, name, address, zip code, email address. Are you homeless? Are you thinking about becoming homeless? And all this good stuff the VA wants to know. And
Okay.
then in the end, I am going to show you how that you are going to file this claim.
Okay.
So the next time that you have to do this, and maybe I'm not around, you're going to be almost self-sufficient.
Okay.
Now it
Good.
takes a little bit of time, but the good part of it is I have written papers on this that I can send to you explaining the process and the rationale and everything about it, and it'll take you through the whole process. So when you are evaluated eventually down the road in a thing called a C&P exam, compensation and pension, you're going to know as much about C&P examination that the person that is examining you. You will have the questions and you'll also have the possible answers. Now, it isn't cheating because all this information is published by the VA, but it isn't very well advertised where it is. Just so happens I found it. As they say, everything's on the internet. You just have to be able to find it. I found
Okay.
it. And
Well,
so
good for
we
me.
can take you through. But as I said, the first thing will be for you to do the intent to file, and then we have 1 year to file that claim. It won't take us that long. Probably after you decide on the treatment and you have the treatment done, immediately after that, you will then be able to file the claim. It isn't that hard at all. I
Okay.
take it you have a computer, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you use Windows or Mac or
Windows.
what?
Windows.
Windows.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Fine.
technical savvy.
Good. You also have Word, right? Great.
Yes.
Hey, and you know how to fill out a PDF fillable form,
Yes.
right? Piece of
Yes.
cake. Hey, you're going to do great. You're going to do
Well,
marvelous.
I appreciate your input, and I'll reach out to you as I need help.
Okay, now, just something in the back of your mind is, by chance, do you have anything else that you might be able to claim in the future?
Well, that
Like,
got me to thinking. I had this is some time ago. I had a lipoma on my back, and I had to
okay,
have surgery to have it removed. And I also had the same
okay,
thing on my toes. Um, they they were not cancerous, but there were
right,
growths. I don't know where they came from.
right.
And I am diabetic and
Diabetes,
hypertension. Yeah, and hypertension.
presumptive. Type 2?
Yes.
Type 2, do you get a shot or a pill?
No, I take pills.
Okay, you take pills. Is there any restrictions that you have to live by? Probably is, like the food you eat and everything else,
Oh, you got to watch your sugar
right?
levels.
You, there are well, actually, diabetes is type 2 is rated, if there aren't any restrictions, it's rated at 20%. And if there are restrictions, it's rated at 30%, and it is presumptive for Agent Orange. That's an interesting one. And the strategy would be, let's get you to 100% first, okay? And then look ahead for like a year, maybe a year and a half later, when you would be downgraded on because of the residual effects, that extra 20 or 30% combined with maybe a 30 or 40% for the prostate cancer downgrade. Now, are you military retired?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Okay, so any of the money you get, even if it's 10, 20, 30, or 40, is you will get to keep. Now, another thing you'll get out of Agent Orange because of a thing called TERRA. And I mentioned this before, the toxic exposure risk activity. No matter what rating you get, you'll be entitled to 100% free VA healthcare because of Agent Orange. That's as toxic as it can get. Trust me.
Okay.
So that's good. So I take it you have civilian health care, right? Some civilian
I
Blue
do.
Cross or
I
okay.
do.
And so once you get VA health care, even if you choose not to use it, you just sign up for it. Since you've got Terra, it's free. You get yourself a primary care doc. You see that doctor once a year just to check in and say, hi, I'm still alive. And then you tell your private, like Blue Cross, I've got VA health care, which will pay second to anything I have to pay you. So anything that you have to pay Blue Cross, they will bill to VA. And the beautiful part is whatever VA allows, not billed, must be accepted as final payment.
Okay.
And this is all because, like me, you had to go to Vietnam
Right.
and you earned it.
Right.
So anything else, I don't know if you have any heart issues or you got, but all those things might come up as a part of Agent Orange.
I think he said high blood pressure.
Oh,
doing.
HBT. Okay, HBT. We can put that in at the time you put in for diabetes after we put in the claim for the prostate cancer, which gets you to 100. And then after that, we think ahead about a year when you're going to be downgraded.
Okay.
Oh,
Actually,
prostate cancer.
maybe we can go offline, but I do have a heart condition. It's a trivascular condition,
Oh, that's also called ischemic heart disease.
I guess.
Yes, we will handle that one.
I guess I hit the
After,
lotto here, huh?
well, actually, it turns out that I've got the prostate cancer stage 4. Unfortunately, I also have the ischemic heart disease, which is also rated at 100%. So, yes, ischemic heart disease, also called coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure. Do you have AFib by
No,
chance? No.
no,
Do you have any squeaky valves?
no. I just have.
Maybe.
I take medication for my cholesterol to
Okay,
keep it low.
well, the cholesterol, they don't really rate, but the cholesterol, the way I understand, it's good for the prostate cancer anyway. Or it's
Okay.
said that it might be good. I know I take it, and it's been so far very good for me. Okay, any questions that you've got?
No, no. It's very good information. I'll reach out tomorrow and file my intent to file,
Yes,
and
please do.
and then I may need to give you a call or send you an email
Oh,
on kind of thing.
yes, the thing is, I have already sent you my contact information and yours, and the thing, uh, as you take the prostate cancer journey, keep me posted. And if you do decide to go strictly active surveillance for, you know, from now for months and months, we can stick in the claim for active surveillance. Then eventually down the road, at the time that you uh, decide to
Hello,
come off and get
hello.
treated.
Yeah,
Wait.
I'm in a meet.
Oh, okay. That's Rick. Okay. So, as I said, if you decide now at your age, old are you?
76.
My age. Well, I'm older than you, 81. So, prostatectomy, well, hey, radiation, not too shabby. So, well, whatever is decided. So, in the scheme
Uh,
of
I'm
things,
I'm going to participate in that group tomorrow on the surveillance, and maybe I
yes,
can get some insight on the different options as well.
absolutely, you should. Yes, I saw the reminder come out. Yes, and
Right.
and so as I said, at the time you finally decide which way to go, let me know, and then we can start on the claim, and
Okay.
that will be very yours will be a piece of cake to do.
Huh.
Okay?
Little did I know.
It's nice to
Hey,
get good news, Frank, huh?
yep.
It is. I guess prostate cancer is good sometimes. I
Well, no,
guess.
no, prostate cancer is not good. But if you had to get something, I know I am in a blood cancer, and I hear this group about CLL and multiple myeloma and all the stem cell. Ugh.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's not a good thing. I'm being facetious. It's not a good
okay,
thing, and
no,
it's very worrisome, especially
Hmm.
trying to figure out what route you should take,
right.
and then
But
all the side effects and all that stuff. So.
oh, true. Jim Kavanaugh, you have your hand up.
Thank you. The comment facetiously, yeah, prostate cancer not good, but I will inject some good information to you. I'm 82 years old, Army National Guard. I did file the intent to file I requested it. I got the forms. Haven't done anything at the moment, but I know that I have up to a year. I'm not going to wait till then, but I have to do that. I have the MS, and that. So that was one thing I learned from you, Jim. By the way, I've been an acting chaplain for 13 years for a lot of groups,
Right.
Marines and so forth. And I just stepped down tonight from the American Legion because I have a lot of things going on. I have sleep apnea, which I don't know where that came from. The good news is on my prostate cancer, I had 5 very intense treatments in February. That was the equivalent of 40 treatments. I was sleeping 14 to
Right.
16 hours a day. My PSA was rated 12.3. It is down now to 0.1, almost undetectable since February. The disadvantage is at the moment, so that's the good news. The bad news is I've been sleeping a lot, and now I go in 2 days from now for the sleep apnea CPAC machine. This came out of the clear blue sky. I've lost about 7 pounds. I'm on Orgovix, and I'm scheduled to be on it for a year and a half at this point in time. One thing that's happened through all these discussions, by the way, everyone on the screen in the last couple of weeks has been in my daily communion prayers because I really feel for everyone, and I thank you for what you're doing. It's a tremendous resource. To get back to the point is, with the sleep apnea, I haven't been able to sleep too right, but I've had something which I really didn't realize. I didn't think about it, but apparently some PTSD has entered, and I remember things that happened at Fort Knox in 1966. So I may be able to, during boot camp, I had an incident, and I would love to kind of research some medical records on that. And so I was wondering about this Gemini. That's the first thing I heard. Is there a way I can plug into that? I'm not in the VA system. I was six years honorably discharged in the Army National Guard. Was not in Vietnam, fortunately, or any of these outside of the United States.
Well, actually, in the Genesis, your records and mine long ago are sitting into our are sitting in a salt mine in southern Illinois.
Okay.
So you can actually request those records yourself, and there's a process to go through. And I think in the reminder that I sent out for this meeting, there is some information about how to do that, I think.
Okay. I'll go
And
back on that rather than take
right.
the time of the gentleman here.
And
And the lady.
another thing that we would like to do is to sign you up for the Men Speaking Freely, which has to do, or excuse me, Veterans Speaking Freely, that meets on the, let me think here, the
The
fourth,
fourth Tuesday of the month.
yeah, the fourth Tuesday of the month. I meet on the first and third. They're on the fourth, and you can, and that's where we don't talk about the VA benefits. We don't talk about the VA healthcare, but we talk about anything else about the PTSD, your experiences, you know, the emotional issues that you're having, and it's quite good. So
Yes,
I
I just checked, and you are signed up for that,
I
Jim.
think I am, Rick.
oh
So
good.
but what I want to give credit where credit is due. I love doing that.
Oh
And I think that we have to ask Colonel Boykin to step in and say a couple of words about Veterans Speaking Freely, because if it
yeah,
wasn't for, we wouldn't have this group.
right.
Colonel, would you just like to say a few words about why we have Veterans Speaking Freely?
Sure, sure. So the genesis was for me was being in Men Speaking Freely, which is a great group that I also participate in. But one of the things that I recognize is that, and I brought it up to Rick, just in a casual conversation, and had no idea it was going to turn it out to this, was that, there's things that they talk about in Men Speaking Freely that's different than what things that vets would talk about. And that kind of became the genesis for the Veterans Speaking Freely, because we all, being vets, don't quite look at things the same way as our civilian friends. And the gender issues are not the same for us. We don't tend to, necessarily certainly we're certainly men and women, and we could tie in for those things. But there's also veteran unique experiences that we all have had as a result of our service to country. And so that is really what the Vets Speaking Freely is about. And sometimes it's just us guys sitting around talking about war stories from our day and laughing and having a good time. Other times it's about things that are just eating at somebody, and then we kind of work our way through that. But it's great because it is an unrecorded session, and it's an opportunity to basically put your hair down and just say silly things like, you know what, I've been out of the Air Force for, in my case, 15 years, and I still function on military time. It's still always 2100 or 2200. I just translate when I have to talk to my civilian friends for them. You know, things like that's just kind of a humorous thing. But my watches still run that way, and I still translate back and forth. But the point is that we all have a lot in common, regardless of our branch of service. The environment is much more joint now, so younger vets coming out are going to have much more of a joint exposure to things, and so it's just a forum for us to talk about vet type issues. And Bill Franklin, our AnCan president, is the lead moderator, and I play backup, and that's a good role for me.
Right.
Thank you, and thank you so much for making that happen. And Jim,
Yeah.
you want to get into your PTSD stuff, it's the perfect place, because apart from anything else, everybody relates to it who's in that group, and it's really a good idea. You are signed up. I also signed you up for the Men Speaking Freely group, which is kind of the civilian version, and would love to see you in either group. We just want to help you.
I thank you. I follow up, or if I see something on the email, I open it up and try and schedule it. So I
Yeah.
thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Okay, Michelle, I see that you joined us. Is there anything that you would like to chime in on? We'd love to hear from you.
No, I'm just in a holding pattern right now. We'll get back to it around another time.
Okay, speak up a little louder because we could barely hear you.
I'm sorry. I said I'm in a kind of a holding pattern right now. I mean, I'll get back around to the next meeting we have if it comes back to mind.
Okay, I think that was you.
Holding
I hope
pattern.
that's better.
Captain
Holding
Jim.
pattern.
Holding pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it's better.
Yeah, Michelle, your mic is muffled. It sounds like something's over it.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's my stupid headset.
That's okay.
I need to
Oh,
stop
you're
using
okay. We just want to let you know that's why we can't hear you so well.
No, so I won't stop using my headset. It's that nonsense. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
guess I need to give me some stuff. I haven't eaten all day. I forgot I didn't eat.
Okay, I got a question. Brian, did you come in late because I had a Brian on caller 02, which was on the phone. So did you get off and come back in?
No, I came in late.
Oh, okay. So it's a different Brian. Oh,
Yes,
okay. Is there anything that you would like to ask or bring up, or?
Just very, very quickly, a recent hurdle I had. A few months back, I filed a secondary claim to tinnitus of migraine headaches. It was just I provided all the information, the diagnosis, the evidence from my different providers, my own lay statement describing in detail what's going on, the fact that
Right.
this was a secondary claim and all that kind of stuff, literature and nexus statement from my doctor, it was all there. Finally got the response from the VA. It was a denial. And as I read through it, they processed my claim as a TERA related claim rather than as a secondary claim to a, I mean, all this stuff is talking about how I show no evidence of military exposure. Just everything is about, everything was wrong. And,
Well, let me ask you this. Maybe it isn't wrong. Maybe, okay. So up until this point, before you did that, what is your disability rating prior to this?
30%.
Okay. So what happened when you submitted this in, they will automatically evaluate you for TERA. And in fact, and we had a guy go in with prostate cancer. They denied the prostate cancer, but awarded him TERA. So that's on the healthcare side. So it's sort of a good news, bad news. The good news is, even though you are 30%, which means normally you would only get free health care for what you are rated for. What they've turned around and said, we have acknowledged that somewhere along the way you were exposed to toxic material. Therefore, you are entitled to 100% free VA health care. That is the good news. Huh?
I'm there already. Prostate cancer presumptive due to TERA. I'm already.
Oh, you said you were only rated 30%.
Well, that's a combination of things.
Okay.
There was prostate cancer. There was tinnitus
Right.
in there as well, and so I was going this next step, this secondary to tinnitus of
okay, but
migraine headaches.
Right. Prior to you filing that claim, what was your rating?
30%.
Okay. Because you are 30%, the only free health care you get would be what you are rated for. The prostate cancer, tinnitus, etc. Okay. But when you file this claim for migraines, they somehow denied you for the migraines, but they awarded you TERA, which they will automatically now, after the 5th of March of 2024, they will evaluate you on the healthcare side for TERA. And the good news is now you are entitled, even though you're still 30%, you now get 100% free VA healthcare. Now, why did they say that they denied you for the migraines? There was a write-up there.
Yeah.
And
they said that I did not show any service connection.
The service. Remember, I said the first thing that you have to do is to assert what is service connection. Now, I take it you are not covered, or you, even if you're covered under the PACT Act, migraines are not presumptive.
They are not, but the tinnitus is.
But true, tinnitus is, but you are trying to blame tinnitus for causing the migraines. Now,
yes,
in the case that you presented, I know I've seen a number of the write-ups about how to service connect it, but apparently the connection you tried to make, or I don't know if you specifically addressed service connection besides, I believe my tinnitus caused migraine headaches. Like, did you provide a doctor that said, in my opinion, it is as likely as not that tinnitus caused your migraines, in my professional opinion?
Yes, the doctor's statement was it is as likely as not that these ocular migraine headaches are secondary to his service-connected tinnitus.
Okay. So, did you submit any other medical evidence besides just one doctor?
Yes, I have an optometrist. I have my primary care. I have my my VA doctor also that provided medical evidence of tinnitus related to migraines, headaches, nausea, blurred vision. So 3 of them provided medical evidence, plus one of them
Okay.
gave me a list of 6 different medical literature to provide as well,
Okay.
showing,
Now,
yes,
so you submitted each of these documents as probably a PDF, right?
they were individual files actually.
Right. Individual. Now, at the time that you have that in your hand, probably on page 2, there's a list of the evidence considered. Do you
Yes.
see those file? Did they even read them? In
Well,
that list,
oh,
do you see the file names that
no,
you?
they are not.
Aha.
In the files that they read, it's really something.
Yes.
They did read my 526.
Right.
They they did read a a statement in support of claim. They have my
Right.
entry to file. They had my VA treatment records,
Right.
and that was it. They didn't
Well,
look at
in there, is there a Terra memorandum has been created?
that was created during my application under the PACT Act for my prostate cancer. That
Oh,
is,
okay. So you were already awarded Terra.
yes, I
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
fine. Okay, but you don't see any of those documents that you think. So the way that I couch this thing, in that statement you provided, which was what, on a BBA 21-4138,
I'd have to check that number.
or was it a 10210, which I use?
No, 4138.
Okay. In that statement, generally what I do in the narrative, according to the template that I have dreamed up, I put that information, if it's like 1, 2, or 3 pages long from each of those, I embed that into that narrative. So they have to read it because they're scrolling down through this form
Yeah.
and they can't miss it.
Yeah, it's just something. More and more I hear all of you speak. It's become painfully clear that you really have to handhold them through this.
Yes. And so the thing in the IT world, I was in the IT world, and we always talked about how do you bulletproof it? So you get them so they can't ignore things. And so, as I said, I then came up with a way of how to embed those documents
Yeah.
into actually a Word document. And it's easy.
Yeah.
You then take a PDF
Yeah.
and you can export each page as a picture.
Yeah.
And then in Word, you can insert a picture, which is actually the document. And
Yeah.
it
My
just
case.
flows as they scroll down and read, and it's always there versus having them as separate files
Yeah.
that they have to leave what you've written to go over and open up some other file. And that's the way that I say to do it. So actually what you could do, and I would be happy to help you because I'm doing this with a gentleman that got denied for prostate cancer, you put back in a supplemental claim and you
Right.
have up to 1 year to put in a supplemental claim and then put this thing together so there is no doubt that they happen to read it. And you make the wording so powerful that, that hopefully some other person who adjudicates this thing will agree with you.
Yeah, I do see your case. That supplemental is what, a 0995 form,
Yeah,
I think it is.
it's
And
0995, which is only 3 pages long.
yeah,
And so I do it like I did a guy, it was up to 18 pages. So the 15 pages were in Word and the 3 pages was the PDF. And I crafted that pretty, as in the government, I was taught pilot higher and deeper.
yeah, these are all great ideas. As for embedding a PDF into this document, I'm a retired computer scientist, so I can do that also. That's not
Yeah, you
do.
export
And
it, and
yeah,
as I said, I would be happy to help you on the wording of it, because one thing the Air Force did after I was an officer, I got trained in staff work, and also as a civilian, how to get money out of civilians. That was like that was a trick. Nobody else could, but I could write justification that you give me money or else
I think
your
my dilemma
world will
as
come to an
So,
end.
a retired
Captain Jim,
Yeah,
can I just butt in for a
sure.
quick second? And I think you,
thank you.
yeah, I see you've been going 2 hours. I've actually been going since
Right.
1:30 my time,
Oh,
4:30 yours, and Erica will attest to that because I started off in the VSS group, which
okay.
where
Right.
I'm a peer, and
Yeah,
then went on to 2 more groups. But I have a quick question for Brian, which Erica will appreciate as well. You mentioned you
Fair enough.
have blurred vision, Brian.
Yeah.
Do you know what virtual snow syndrome is? Have you ever heard of it?
Visual.
Visual snow syndrome is, sorry, visual snow syndrome.
No, I do not. Mine is ocular migraines with aura.
Okay.
Okay. That'll
Category.
do. That'll do, right, Erica? That'll do.
Yep.
That'll do. So let me just explain to you very quickly, and then maybe Erica and Alexa, but we may be able to help you, not with the VA, but we may be able to support you. There is a condition called visual snow syndrome,
Right.
and we run a group for it. And I have been living with it all my life, and I only discovered that I had it about 3 months ago because I started attending this group, and I now recognize what it is. And it's essentially the same as tinnitus, except for it's your sight, not your hearing. So there is a neural impairment in how you see, just like with tinnitus, there's a neural impairment with how you hear. And it can, in each person, it manifests differently. So sometimes it's spots, sometimes it's blurs, sometimes it's something like floaters, but not floaters. It can be colors. It can be you looking at something and seeing the image of what you just saw right there. And what we know is that since it's a malfunction of this neural receptor that perceives sight and sound, the two go together. And Alexa's just posted something in the chat window for you, and maybe we can help you with this because it is significant. I mean, I truly get it. I don't suffer too badly, but then I'm used to it, and maybe there's something that you should be thinking about. And we have a visual snow group on the first Monday of each month at 8 o'clock. So I can't attend that because that's when my high risk prostate cancer group is. And on what's today? The second Tuesday, right? At
Third Tuesday.
third Tuesday at 4:30. So
Okay, I will look into. I'll sort of look into that. Mine, I just looked up that visual snow thing real quickly. Mine is more of the scintillating, zigzag, colorful, bright zigzag lines that occur rather than what's defined for that visual snow.
Okay,
But they're
that's
all neural related, and
It can
I'll start.
manifest in all
Okay.
different ways.
right.
It
And
Yeah.
really can.
and some guy was talking about that today about the lines. Erica, you wanna just take 2 minutes to enlighten Brian?
Yeah, thank you.
Even less, just understanding. I guess this would be for everyone and not just you, Brian. I think that, as we age, we just expect to have a whole bunch of declines. And it really isn't necessarily normal, and you can get very acclimated to things. Like you're saying, Rick, you've had this your whole life, and you actually you didn't until it's brought to your awareness. We can get very
Right.
acclimated to things that kind of go under the radar of our awareness. And so I would just also encourage all of you to think about, like, one of the key symptoms of visual snow. It's a much larger neurological thing. It can come from a TBI. A lot of people in the group today had that, but some of us have had it since we were born, and it's a processing difference, a neurological processing difference. And so there's other neurological symptoms. So I suffer from small fiber polyneuropathy significantly. If you have neuropathy, that is something that you should be looking at and putting into, getting on record and whatnot. But even one of the key things that I struggle with is brain fog and cognitive processing challenges that come from this, working memory issues. So it's not just age, and don't just brush it under. It takes a really different mindset, you guys, from what helped you survive in the military.
What's
It
the
takes pain.
diagnosis for this? How do you diagnose this?
Visual snow. So I'm just encouraging you to look at all neurological, symptoms, but it's challenging to get. I have a lot of things that are specialized things that most regular doctors don't know. This would be a neuro-ophthalmologist or a neurologist. Some people who do visual therapy with just like a therapeutic ophthalmologist could get a diagnosis, but it again, this is not run-of-the-mill stuff, and a lot of medicine is run on run-of-the-mill stuff,
They have me
right?
scheduled for an
So
MRI this weekend.
you're gonna get an MRI this weekend, you said? Oh,
They
you're
they
gonna
have
get one.
they have me
Oh,
set up for MRI of my head, in particular the orbits, to look at, see if there's. I'm not sure what.
absolutely.
Nothing in my
Visual
head at
snow
all, probably,
is
but
visual snow is can be seen in certain kinds of MRIs. So that might be worth trying
Only
to
functional. They have to be a functional
functional, right?
MRI. Yeah, and those are very expensive.
It may not be what you're getting. Do you know?
I do not have the word functional MRI in
Hmm.
that description. I don't. Wish I had that in front of me right now. I don't have it handy right now, but
Okay. Well, it's
yeah.
definitely worth getting the conversation going about, and if you have to go to a different specialist to be assessed for it. You did a great description of it, Rick, as tinnitus of the eyes, but it is a much larger neurological thing, and there can be other symptoms. So definitely get on record if you have cognitive challenges, if you haven't already. I know you guys, I did the TBI clinic at Fort Benning to see if it could help me with my working memory issues, even though I didn't have a TBI. If you're not, there are definitely a lot of things set up within the system, and I think maybe you all could speak to that from the VA perspective better than me. But um, any other neurological issues too, I would say, neuropathies, processing challenges, get them on record.
It's
And
just very.
Brian, first of all, please come to one of the visual snow groups because you'll learn such a lot. And there was somebody today who mentioned a terrific doctor in Cleveland. Alexa can help track down the name. A really good visual. I think she said that she suffers from visual snow syndrome herself, and she's
And I'm
a
putting her link in the chat.
okay. There goes the link. Yes, Devon Cohen. And so we do know quite a bit about this. We'd love to have you in the group and educate you. So, in fact, what I'm going to do, if it's okay by you, is I'll just add those reminders for the Visual
Yes.
Snow group.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go, excuse me, but I got to chase some chickens. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And he's
Goodbye.
not lying.
Oh, you're
Chase
so lucky.
some chickens.
Goodbye.
We want pictures.
Right.
Next time.
Brian.
Next time I'll make sure I'll send pictures for.
As
Okay.
a reminder for the
Goodbye.
visual snow reminder.
Okay.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
send it with
With the
that.
cats. With the cats.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Brian, a quick question. You said something about occasionally you get like cross hatching or so. You see these designs or something. Is that true?
Yeah, these are what they call ocular migraines with aura, and it consists of zigzag flashing. In fact, if you Google that, you can see an exact picture of what I see. It's just zigzag flashing, pulsating lines. It's called a get the term that they call it. It's called a scintillating
Mm-hmm.
scotoma. A little bit
Oh,
different
okay.
from the picture I just looked online of the visual snow. That's a little bit different there,
Okay.
but
I was just curious because I get these occasionally, very rarely, but all of a sudden it's like a design with the cross hatching moves around my eyes.
no.
And so I try to calm down and
Hmm.
do it and it goes away. It doesn't happen that much. Anyway, it's holy smokes. It's 10, almost 10:15. I want to thank anybody who is still on, be sure that you save the chat. And the way you do that is to go up into the chat box, open it up, and if you haven't done it yet, there are 3 vertical dots. If you click on those, it'll say, and it will allow you to set your option to automatically download chat messages. Make sure that's on so at the time that you exit go to those all those chat will be saved somewhere on your computer. Erica.
Thank you. Hold on. Ah, I had written a long note to
Okay.
Tyneal and to both of you, but when Rick called on me, I went away and it went away. So,
Oh no.
just very briefly, thank you so much
Okay.
for those ideas about exceptional family member. I think that we just have a regional coordinator who sucks, and that's okay. And what we thought about and we talked about was that we're gonna try, first of all, to probably call Military One Source and just start there and see if we can just get a different regional coordinator. And
Sure.
we might also just register online through the EFMP site. And
Right.
thank you
Okay.
for those ideas. And nobody needs to research anything more, Jim. Thank you so much
Okay.
for offering. I think that's a good starting place for us. Thank you.
And then do I have your email address or something so I can start to pump you some information prior
For my,
to,
yeah, for retirement.
yeah.
We will send you a note. We will
Oh,
send you a
good.
note. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And thanks for
And
everyone. Michelle, Tyneal as well.
I
Colonel,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much. And I'm going to stop the recording now. And I thank everybody for attending and